Hey, 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 what do you say? Come online so I know you survived Independence Day. Hey, y'all. I am working on some things. Hold on, let me see. My volume is up properly because I don't have on my headphones right now. I may put them on if someone comes on. Hey, I have one who survived Independence Day. Congratulations. I guess it's just you and me and you, just us two who survived Independence Day. Yep. What do you got to say? You just gonna lurk or what? What'd you do for Independence Day? If you want to call in to 832-380-2548 if you want to go live with me. Okay? I'll put that in the comments too. Call in to 832-380-2548. Okay? Okay. So there's a number. Call me. Call me now. Let's see. I am, let's see. This is from Judy. Judy just texted me. Okay, I see I have a watcher. Go ahead on and call in, my dear, and you can talk to me. Okay. All right, Judy. I am 832-380-2548. Thanks. All right. Okay. There. So I've let her know. Now I'm just messing with people now. Dinner. Oh, pa, 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 pa. Let's see. Now, if no one calls in, I'm just going to go over comments and stuff like that. At least I know one person made it through the Independence Day holiday. I took every precaution. Everybody out here have been acting so crazy, but it's good. It's very good. There's a guy that was out here that was harassing people, and this one person kind of took up on him, approached him to make him stop, and he just refused. And so this other guy shot him twice. Lord have mercy. I said, ooh, accountability. Go ahead then. Accountability. I am not mad at it. You go out here acting a fool if you want to. Somebody gonna check you. And I think that is good, honey. It's about daggum time. It's about time. It's been a long time coming, but I was waiting for it sooner or later, honey. Let me let them know over at my foundation. If you do not know, I run the Joseph Dwayne Albert Foundation, and it is on YouTube. And so we are doing fundraising right now. So all donations are accepted, whether they are in kind or cash or whatever. We're fully tax deductible, and we have that information. Okay. All right. Post. So that is that. I don't know. I think everybody probably is having some downtime. I don't even think everybody went back to work today. But okay. Let's see who that is. Lori. Oh, Danny. All right, Danny. Let's see if Danny will call in. He's so funny. I don't know if I can. Let me see if I can call him. Let me see. Are you busy? Oh, I should probably send him this, huh? I don't know how, Danny. I don't know how to send this to you. I don't know how. I don't know how to send it to you. Okay, so let me do it on my other page. I also have another page, and that is for my writing. You can buy my books online. I have over 7 titles. You can get e-copies on iTunes, and you can also get paper copies. So might want to check that out and post. Okay. So there's 2 people online. If you want to talk to me, go ahead on and call in at 832-380-2548. All right. If you are a subscriber and you hit the notification bell, you get a notification whenever I go live. Okay. So if you want to let me know about your Independence Day, please just give me a ring-a-ding-ding right now. You can ring my phone, ring my phone. Who knows the name of that song? Oh, give me the artist. Do you know who the artist is? I'll give you a special shout out if you know who I'm singing about. Just put it in the comments. Put it in the comments. The night is young. You know that song? Do not Google it. And baby, and did you really miss me? I guess you did by the look in your eyes. So lay back and relax while I pour a glass of whiskey. I think that, I will change lyrics. If you know the song, go ahead and put it in the comments for me. If you want to call in and actually tell me about your Independence Day, call me at 832-380-2548. I know a lot of people are not in the mind frame for that tonight, but I just thought I'd check in. All right. Let's see. My Independence Day was very safe. Okay. I did get I did have a weird conversation with somebody from Chicago. And I must commend Tony Gaskins because I just, I am free to be me, honey. And I am not going for any shenanigans. None. And I do like my entertainment, but I do not entertain gentlemen who have very young children. I do not. If your children are the age of my grandchildren, that's a no. That's a no for me. Let y'all tell me what y'all think about this, okay? So I got 2. So we're 2 or more gathered. All right. So here we go. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this, okay? So I get this message from this person, and the situation was that they were really trying to holler at me, right? But I wasn't for it, right? So this person is telling me all this kind of stuff. First of all, they got in touch with me. It was kind of out of the blue, and kept on asking me, am I married? What do I do? That type of thing. What's my age? And this person is supposed to be in their 40s. So I just did not take this person seriously and just was laughing at them. And I really feel like the caliber of ladies that this person is used to talking to are much younger than him. That was the impression that I got. Aww. That was the impression that I got. So I must commend, if you know Tony Gaskins, if you watch his channel, if you do not, then please do. His name is Tony, Tony Gaskins, Gaskins. And a lot of times I would, try to be civil with guys. Tony Gaskins calls them grown men. Is that right? Grown boys. Grown boys. That's what he calls them. And so that's what he calls them. And so before, I would try to be a little bit more diplomatic with them because, I understand that everybody ain't wrapped too tight. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are not wrapped too tight. And the last thing I need is some psycho trying to follow me, right? I guess that was him. He got off the live. I think that was him. Oh my God. Now he's turned into a stalker. Oh my God. Well, I'm going to just tell, it's just me and you. It's just me and you. Okay. I'm going to just tell you. He got off the line. Oh my God. Yes, honey. I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings, but it is what it is. So this person started getting in touch with me. This was Saturday night. And yeah, got in touch with me like 8:30 p.m. Supposed to be from Chicago. And much younger than me, 48 years old. Yeah. And I think that he's accustomed to talking to women that are much younger and women who are just really gobsmacked over him. But because of Tony Gaskins, I was reminded that's Tony's own thing is grown boy, right? So if you look up Tony, you'll be able to see his website, which is TonyGaskins.com, Gaskins. And I just listened to his book, A Woman's Influence, with him and his wife on Audible. I just took a whole day and listened to the whole book, and it was really good. And it really prepared me for this person getting in touch with me from Chicago. Number one, I have a bad idea about, that's Danny. Hey, Danny. Daniel, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, hold on.
Okay.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, I didn't even hear anything ring.
That was quick, huh?
How are you?
Yes, I'm fine. How are you? What did you do for your Independence Day?
Nothing.
Oh, that's the safest way to do it, okay?
Well, I'm not all that big on the holiday, to be perfectly honest.
Oh, really? Why? I mean, I'm not, because I was raised in a cult, but you don't have no excuse. You should be out there, letting me live vicariously through you. That's what you're supposed to be doing.
I'm not really in favor of it for a variety of reasons, which I think you actually might appreciate to some extent.
All right. I do, because my people wasn't free in 1776.
Well, this is you're hitting the nail on the head. To me, it seems like a very hypocritical holiday.
Well,
because declaring independence while being very oppressive, to me is
it's hypocritical.
Yeah, and I'm not, one to appreciate that.
Yeah. God bless Christmas addicts.
Well, I've already, told you about my history involving civil rights and all that. So,
God bless your mom.
Yeah, and it's plus, I'm not real big on fireworks.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And for the most part too, as far as it goes, I've actually seen the Macy's Day fireworks from the time they started, when they started coordinating it to music and making it a lot more of an art form, actually.
Right.
And so I did come to appreciate that to some extent, but overall, I'm not too fond of what all the noise does for most people's critters either, you know. So I don't have a whole lot of appreciation for it.
Okay. And see, you know what? Because of the way I was raised, I just really thought that everybody would be just really gung-ho about all the holidays and stuff like that. It just never even occurred to me that people who, were very much aware of what the holiday is about and how hypocritical it was that they did not observe it because of that. It just never even dawned. It never even dawned on me because of my upbringing.
Yeah, sure. I can understand that based on everything you told me about.
Everybody else, I thought, because during the 4th of July, we weren't in school or anything, but in Houston, there were huge parades and, everybody would be at Herman Park, which is like the Central Park in Houston by the medical center. That's just huge and has an amphitheater. And it's just a huge, big thing. Every weekend is a celebration in Houston, what I remember. But a lot of times we did not. Well, not a lot of times, not at all. When I was growing up, were we allowed to participate in that? And the only thing that we got to participate in was the livestock show and rodeo, which my dad would make sure that we would go to that, and the fair and carnivals and things like that, but nothing to do with the holidays because, of the cult. So, so that's, and it just shows you just how much information that I did not have and so much that I was completely and totally unaware of. And even though I know your background and I know about, your mom's activism and your activism, I don't even know why I sent you the text message anyway. Oh, tell me about your Independence Day. Because I'm just thinking, only people who are affiliated with the cult or was raised in the cult may have some ambivalence towards it. But because you're just not accustomed to doing it. So you just feel out of place. You don't know what to do. You don't know. And there's no one to mentor you from being in the cult to being in the regular world. You're just kind of like thrown out there. And it's a sink or swim type of deal. And you try to limit your exposure, to being, made to feel like you're completely and totally out of your depth. For me, I just used to feel stupid, because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to wear. I don't know what the dances are. I don't know any of that stuff. So I'm not going to put myself in a situation where I just feel completely stupid and feel like a fish out of the water. And there's no one to tell me, okay, this is what you do, Coletha. This is what, kind of like what Meghan Markle got into by marrying into the royal family. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's that.
It's so you don't.
I've also, relate to what you're saying from a different level as well. In that,
right?
I moved what I call blind. In other words, going from one place to another without any job lined up, and with no place to go in terms of once I get to whatever it is I'm getting, whatever city I'm moving to, not having a place to go.
Yes.
And so just showing up in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of some place I've never been, and trying to figure out where do I find a place to live, how do I find a job,
right?
And then developing, new social relations,
right? A community, a network of people, right? Friends,
right.
Trying to make
and then also in one vacation in particular more than any other was going down to Florida when I was 19. And it was almost like a different country.
Yeah.
The culture shock
for
me was incredibly intense.
I can believe that. I've never set foot in Florida. I've only gone as far south as I actually went to the Atlanta airport to catch a flight from Atlanta to Manchester, England. But that was it. You hear me? Only place I stayed in the airport. I didn't even go. Okay. Yeah, you guys, I've never been to Florida, never set foot in Florida. I have cousins that are in Florida, and who have invited me there. And I've had a friend who just moved down to Florida, but I ain't never been to Florida, child. Mm-mm.
Well, a lot of times people think about Florida and they think about, the coast and, retirees, often from New York or whatever.
Jewish elderly people.
Right. And, they don't think about inland.
Right.
But inland Florida is got a lot of deep South ingrained in it. And it was a real culture shock for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I had to I had to learn some things that I did not expect was still going on.
Do tell. Lord have mercy. Do tell. What had happened was.
First of all, I spent my first 6 months there, working for a citrus packing plant. And it's how I learned my first construction skill, which was painting. So I was a new man on the totem pole in the crew. And there were black people working there as well at different levels and jobs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And two people I developed some a certain amount of relationship with who were black, that really stood out in terms of shit that I had to learn.
They were trying. You were on the fast track to learn it, huh?
Well, one of them was this guy who was probably, I guess, in his mid-40s, I guess. He was on the carpenter crew, and carpenters, painters intermix a lot,
Okay.
And we come in, of course, after everybody else is done, so this one guy, can't remember his name, but in any case, I was a snot-nosed kid, basically, new kid on the block, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And he was there for a lot of years as master carpenter, the thing is, he would always call me Mr. Dan. And the guy's more than 20 years older than me.
Wow.
On a higher pay grade level.
But he was a black guy.
Right. And, I kept on trying to say, why are you calling me Mr.?
Mm-hmm.
No, I couldn't wrap my brain around that. And I tried to tell him, look, if anybody deserves to be calling somebody Mr., it should be me calling you. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So my elder, you're my senior in the job situation, in terms of skill levels and everything else, And so, but because I was white, he called me Mr. And I tried to get him to stop doing that, and I realized I was just, trying to, climb straight up in the air with nothing to hold on to.
Yeah.
It was just useless. I got nowhere quick.
But did he tell you that by doing that could get him killed if he did that with the wrong white man?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't tell me much of anything.
Mm.
I had to figure it out, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But when I would talk to him briefly about it, he'd just smile and say, "Yeah, okay, fine, yeah," and just keep on going and doing whatever,
Yeah.
pretty much ignoring me. And then this other guy, who I do remember, his name was Freddie. He was the same age as me. He was also in the carpenter crew, but like me, he was a newbie. Mm-hmm. He'd been there longer than me. Mm-hmm. Okay, but we're pretty much in the same age range, and in terms of the job, relatively same social status. And on occasion we'd have lunch together. And almost everybody was brown bagging it. You bring your own. Mm-hmm. They didn't have like a cafeteria or anything like that. Mm-hmm. There were some vending machines with some crappy food in them that nobody wanted to eat. Right. But so we brought our own, and we could sit, shoot the breeze, no big deal, hang out together at work during lunch, fine. But on a few occasions, I'd come across him outside of work. And whenever this happened, if I started to talk with him, he'd be acting really squirrely. And, checking the surrounding areas, constantly looking around. Yes. Almost like somebody who was lost. Mm-hmm. And, it took me a bit to pick up on it and to realize, on the few occasions where, I did encounter him outside of work, he made sure that conversations were very short and, for a bit I thought, it's like, did I do something to piss him off? Was he mad, Right. And then, but we go back into work and everything would be exactly the same,
So Danny, do you know that by those restrictions, it not only restricted Black people, but it also restricts white people. Nobody is free.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody is free.
I felt like, well, I'm not allowed to be friends with this guy because he happens to be Black. It's like,
right.
What the fuck?
Right. You're not free to be his friend, and he's not free to be your friend. Nobody is free.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And and that's not, of course, a new statement. When nobody's free until everybody's free.
That's right.
And that application, is more apropos on that exact scenario than anything I've ever encountered.
Right. But who does it benefit? Who does it benefit?
In his case, it benefits him because he's concerned that if somebody sees us talking together outside of work for more than 5 minutes, he could get in serious trouble. Mm-hmm. And, that alone really weirded me out. It really did. And I hated it. Now, I only worked there for 6 months, so it wasn't like a big ongoing thing. Mm-hmm. And where I would end up working after that was running a mailroom for this little party school, and it was a world unto itself. Mm-hmm. And it didn't, have the same restrictions at all. Right. In any way, shape, or form. It was a totally different environment than any of the other towns around it. And so, in that location, I could have friends, Black, Jamaican, whatever, didn't matter. And so, I was a lot happier there for all kinds of reasons, including that one. Mm-hmm. I did that first job. I'm glad for the skills that I learned, but the environment itself, God, it was horrible. 2 people died from falls in the 6 months that I worked there. Mm-hmm. And I personally did a lot of jobs that I could have been run if I wasn't very, very careful on a number of occasions.
Mm-hmm.
I encountered quite a number of situations where I could have easily gotten maimed for life, if not dead. And it was a very dangerous environment.
Well, I know when I was young, they did occupational handbooks, and construction was always the most dangerous vocation you could go into.
Yeah, well, it certainly has a number of things that are, more inherently dangerous, but a lot of the danger that I encountered wasn't because of the work itself in terms of being a painter. It was the places that I was working around that were very dangerous too. This one area, first of all, this was a huge complex. It purports itself to be the largest citrus packing plant in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's not, but it claims it. And they put up, whole buildings, large buildings, and one of the buildings was processing the orange pulp to be, separated, and then the pulp itself gets to go become mixed in with cow food of some sort. And
I don't know.
No, I'm telling you, this was, the case. And the thing is that on the very bottom of the factory, all the pulp is finally, worked down through these various machines.
Mm-hmm.
And the machine, the building went online before everything was quite finished. And on the very bottom level, all this pulp comes down to this giant slurry of stainless steel that goes all the way from one end of the building to the other. Mm-hmm. And I was having to work around this. Now, the thing has giant interlocking screws that are, I think each section was about 15 feet long. Stainless steel, about a foot and a half in diameter, in this giant slurry. And it's supposed to have covers on this. But not all the covers are there. And in the meantime, I'm having to paint this electrical conduit orange. And I'm scraping off the pulp as I go, mm-hmm. and painting and scraping and painting. And I'm leaning over this slurry while it's in action with this giant screw going right in front of me. And I'm painting this, these large, it's like 15, 20 altogether pipes of electrical conduit that I'm painting. And I'm leaning over this thing while this giant machine is turning and turning and turning and turning.
It sounds scary to me.
I dropped my brush. Now, I trained myself for the time I was a little kid to catch things if I dropped them, and I'm very good at it. I'm very
This sounds dangerous, Danny. I don't know. I mean, I know you lived and everything because I'm on the phone talking to you, but oh my gosh.
It fell into this slurry. Now, I immediately go to try and catch it in mid-drop and freeze. And my hand is about 1 foot above this machine as it's turning and turning and turning. And I watch the brush go ka-clunk, 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 ka-clunk. And I'm frozen, except for my eyes, watching that thing go along there. And my hand is like 1 foot above this thing, frozen. And I said, okay, I pulled myself out from, I was standing on a scaffold just one tier high, but I was leaning out of the scaffold area and, leaning up against this thing on my waist, basically. That close. I'm right on top of this thing. And so after a minute or so, whatever it was, I finally am able to move, and I extricate myself out of that position and go back down by myself to the compound, get another brush, go back to work. Do not say a thing to anybody about it whatsoever.
Why? Why didn't you say anything?
Well, first of all, there's no way to get the brush back.
It went into somebody's orange juice. Somebody opened up their orange juice and there was paint in it.
No. This was going. The juice was already extracted. This was going to make health food. This was mixed in with pulp.
Okay.
And it was getting chewed up as it was going, and there's no way to retrieve it. And there's no way to get it out before it's totally crushed and mixed. And so there's nothing I could do to stop that. And later that same day, I moved away from that section finally, and I'm still doing this orange conduit on a scaffold. And I'm just standing on the first tier of the scaffold. I've got a second tier up there, but there's no boards on it. I'm not standing on it. That's just to give me something to hold on to, for balance.
Right.
But and the only time in that entire job that I saw or noticed anybody from OSHA, and he comes up and he chews me out for not having pins in my scaffold.
Well, but why would he look at you about that? When he talked to whoever
Well, first of all, it's a joke.
Oh.
All right? Remember, like I said, 2 people died in that 6 months I was there. And this was far from the only thing that I did that was extremely dangerous. A lot of things that I did were way up high, and dealing with spray painting, standing on super slick tarpaulins and spray painting a ceiling 150 feet up with just one lifeline to hold on to. And yeah, freaky, scary shit, man. Another time I was doing some more, still in the same building, I had to go and do the brushwork for this one wall, and started at the very, very top tier, and I had to climb onto the framework that holds the ceiling up, and climb out across that, carrying a brush, a bucket of paint, bag, scraper, and my boss is sending me out there. I'm saying, okay, I'm going to go down to the compound and get a safety belt. It's like, no, you don't need a safety belt. And
who said you don't need a safety belt? Who said that?
100 feet in the air. And I'm saying, no, I'm going to go get a safety belt. He's like, you're going to do this? I'm going to fire you. I said, you can fire me. I'm not doing this job without a fucking safety belt.
Good for
He
you.
He didn't fire me.
Boy.
But, life down there is cheap, to say the least. And, that was another lesson that I learned.
Right.
Being white alone did not give me a whole lot of extra.
Well, I wasn't going to say nothing. I wasn't going to say nothing, but yes, indeed. It's hard across the board down south. The older people try to kill the young people every way that they can, and it doesn't matter your race. It don't matter your race. It's just the old people up there. They try to kill as many young people as they can, giving them bad advice, giving them, telling them to do the wrong stuff, bullying them, trying to kill them. They try to kill you on purpose.
Florida is the craziest place I've ever lived.
Have you ever lived in Texas?
No.
Well, let me tell you.
No, I've never done anything more than pass through.
Honey, I escaped Texas by the hairs on my chinny chin chin. Believe you me. Believe you me, honey. That's the South, honey. If you want to live, ain't no living there on accident. You got to mean to live, to survive. You ain't going to do it by happenstance, and ain't nobody going to help you.
Oh, yeah. I was so glad to get the job running that mailroom. I actually took a small pay cut, and I was happy to.
I hear you.
Aside from everything else.
When I came to California, I was like, I pay them. They was like,
this is one of the very few white-collar jobs I had in my life, and it was the only one at that point in time. And it was a whole other environment. It was a whole other kind of work. And it was an improvement in every single way, including the pay cut. Still didn't matter.
That's right.
It was like $10, $15 less a week or something. It was not a big deal. But I was very, very happy to do it. I quit smoking. I was swimming every day. I was highly appreciated within a few months because I became the best postman for the college in collective memory. I did my job damn well, and I got to take extra perks as a result. Because since I was as efficient as I was, I got to take extra break time. I ran the mailroom. Nobody else was there half the time. More than half the time, actually, mostly. Once in a while, I'd have an assistant that would last for a little while. But even that was, like part-time. And as a matter of fact, I started smoking pot every day when I was on that job. And, and I thought it was pretty cool that here I was getting stoned every day, and these folks had no clue. All they knew is I was the best damn post person they had ever had.
Oh, my God. Well, this is your confession.
It was great. Well, see, here's the thing, too. My only boss was the head of finance for the college. And when I came in, the books were 3 months behind, and apparently had steadily been 3 months behind for as far as anybody could remember. Sometimes 2, sometimes 4, but, on average. Well, after working there for about a month, I found out, I'd figured certain things out. And one of the main things was that the way it was set up, you couldn't do an accounting for the month until the end of the month. And
I think you told me about this job.
I may have. I inverted the system so that every day.
If you hear what sounds like gunshots, that's because they are still doing fireworks here in Seattle.
But we still get it around here too. Not that much.
They're still doing it.
But in any case, I inverted it so that every day was a beginning and ending statement. And since there was nobody to tell me I couldn't do it, I just did it. And in the meantime, before I got to that point, I'd spent every moment that I could catching up on the books. So inside of the first month, I caught up on all the old stuff, or the second month, and then I inverted the system, and so as a result, all I had to do was, if I missed a day, next day it'd be easy to catch up, just that one day's thing, and so as a result, I was never late with the books. And so my only supervisor was happy. Right. The job got done efficiently. The books got done better than anybody else. That's all that mattered. And So I had a lot of fun on that job. It was a blast. Plus, because it was such a small job, small college, I got to act in 3 out of the 4 school plays that year. That's a blast. So it was sort of like I was living this triple life. Because we were into some local prayer meetings with the Catholic Church. And so I had that environment, which was totally separate.
Right.
I had the mailroom job, but I didn't hang out with or party with any of my coworkers. I, however, did, because I was in that same age range, hang out with a lot of the students.
Right.
And in the theater department and like that. So it was just, and then on weekends I partied with the guy who was one of the groundskeepers there. He was also my connection for pot. And so I go hanging out, partying in the bars on the weekends. And it was just, weekends, one scene, evenings during the week with the students in the theater department, go to the mailroom during the day, and it was like this triple life that, nobody else knew I was, doing all these other things in the meantime.
So you were burning the candle at both ends.
Well, no, I mean, not in terms of too much timing. It wasn't like, I was, losing any sleep or anything like that. But I was spending most of my evenings, while school was in session, dealing with the theater department, working on plays. And that was a lot of fun too. I, got to be able to boost up my resume some as an actor, build up my skills, as it were, some. And that was a lot of fun. And it's just really a strange existence down there. It's a very strange existence. But anyway, I overall, though, in spite of the fact that I did enjoy my time in the college a lot,
right,
I still wanted to leave the state. I couldn't sit down on the ground anywhere because they've got fire ants everywhere.
Oh,
And I've dealt with, what they call fire ants in this state, in New Mexico.
Right.
And they're nasty, but they ain't nothing like that.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
They got it. Fire ants are just horrid. You get one bite, you will never forget it. Never. It's just horrible. And so, you can't even walk around in sandals most places. You got to have shoes. And then the woods, you can't walk in the woods at all. Forget it. Among other things, got banana spiders. I learned the hard way about that. I had already encountered banana spiders once in a job, literally from a box of bananas. And at a restaurant that I worked in. And I had learned about them ahead of time. But I learned about them the hard way and another. All the spiders down in Florida, their webs are almost invisible. But the tensile strength is like the 5 times.
Okay, Danny. Danny, okay. I'm going to cut you off there. I can't. Let me tell you something. I am not with bugs at all. As a matter of fact, that's why I love birds, because birds eat bugs. Okay. I know that.
Okay with.
I'm
usually okay with a lot of things. I don't mind most bugs, actually.
No.
And
no, Danny.
Danny. We're working in the garden
Danny,
today, for instance,
Danny, we're not going to talk about that, Danny. We're not going to talk about that. Now, listen, on this live, we can talk about a lot of things, okay?
Okay. Well,
but I'm not going to, a lot of my customers that when I work from home, all of my customers that I help, they're in Florida.
Oh, wow.
And that's my customer base. And believe you me, I've heard a whole lot, but I'm like, all right, now I'm going to have to get on off the phone. Can I help you with anything else? Okay, but I cannot. Coming from Houston, we have bugs, but our bugs are civilized. Okay? These critters in Florida are savages. I just...
Well, they got some weird ones, too. Even ones that aren't necessarily all that,
I can't. It's the one reason why if I ever have to go to Jamaica by catching a boat in Florida, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I have no intentions of ever going to the state of Florida. And that's just not even the whole, racial thing, but it's just the bug situation. I just cannot.
I will definitely, based on everything you mentioned just now, I would tell you, if I had learned about your feelings about bugs, that you definitely don't want to go to Florida.
Me and you have never discussed insects. You know that. We don't talk about it, and I definitely don't bring it up.
I mean, we haven't discussed automobiles either.
No, we have not.
We haven't discussed rocket ships. We haven't discussed a lot of things. I mean,
But bugs.
Think about what you haven't discussed.
Well, bugs definitely. Now we can talk about Oldsmobiles all you want. Chrysler.
But I grew up in this. I mentioned this before. Small town called Johnston in Rhode Island, and I was nature all the way. I'd go off by myself into the woods all the time as a kid. I had no problem with bugs of any kind whatsoever, and the bugs there, as you might say, more civilized, at least compared to Florida, because boy, wow. And so without going into details bugs anymore, basically though, I learned very quickly, that I couldn't sit around. I couldn't walk in the woods, and so living in the countryside lost most of its appeal,
Yeah.
Because where I lived, even though it was called Dade City, it was countryside.
Danny. While you talking, you know what I did? I Googled the worst states for bugs in the United States.
Oh, I'm sure Florida.
And I'm not. How'd you know? States with the worst bugs. Apparently, Florida has a bad reputation when it comes to bugs. In a national survey, homeowners rank the state as the worst in terms of bug infestations.
No. Well, and see, you had an infestation once of fleas. The area I lived in, a whole field was infested with it. It was just horrible. We had to move out for a while from this little shack we were living in and have the whole place fumigated, and still had to wait a good while and do it again because they were just everywhere. Thankfully, we had some friends we could stay with for a little while, and I went back, to go set off a bomb after we had been gone for about 4 days, and I opened a door. I took a couple of steps in, and they were by the hundreds of thousands. It was like Moses parting the sea.
That's why I was thinking about it. Biblical.
Oh my
Okay.
God. They were jumping in both directions away from me.
I cannot.
And it's so thick a manner that you could literally see them by the thousands. And that was inside this house. It was, oh my God. It was horrid.
It's like the wrath of God is biblical proportions. I cannot.
And then of course you got the humidity. And if it was in the summertime, it would be completely unlivable if they didn't have rain to cool it off every day. You could practically set your clock by it coming every day. And otherwise, nobody would even live there, I'm sure, because it'd be way too hot and muggy to survive without that.
Well, for statistical purposes, number 1 worst state is Florida, and number 2 is New York.
And in terms of what?
Bugs, vermin.
In terms of bugs?
That's what it says, bugs and vermin. It says bugs with a close runner-up to rats.
Well, I can understand, too, New York City, rats being a thing, but rats aren't insects, and we're talking about insects.
Yes, but that's what that's what it's saying.
I don't see New York as being, well, New York City has got a huge cockroach infestation, but that's true for every city I've lived in.
Really? I've never seen one here in Seattle.
No, LA wasn't that bad. Now that I think about it,
I have really, except for spiders here, and I'm telling you, there was a spider today. I went to Safeway. I left my windows down because I had my dog in the car, and when I was driving, there was this big white spider that was crawling like by my window. And I just took a piece of tissue that I had in the car and grabbed the spider and threw him out the window. And kept right on going. But that has happened to me here in Washington. All kinds of spiders. I've seen spiders here that look like grapes with legs. I've seen polka dotted spiders, black and white spiders with black polka dots. I've seen spiders that were black as tar and big as my hand. I had a set of snow tires that I kept in my shed, and they stayed in there all through the summer and stuff. And then when it started to rain again, when it started to snow again, and I was going over the pass to go to Leavenworth, I went into the shed to pull these tires out. And this monster was in there just chilling. He didn't try to jump at me or be aggressive or anything like that. He was just in the tires. And so I just...
What kind of... What kind of spider are you talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. We got in New Mexico, different varieties, and I have never encountered one in my neighborhood here. But we do have tarantulas in the state. I encountered one in all my years here in the state, and that was at my brother's up in next mountain up. I live alongside of one mountain, and he lived on the other side of the next mountain, just north of that. And his son and wife and family now living in that same place. But because I don't know if I told you about my brother died a number of years ago.
No, you didn't tell me. As a matter of fact, I didn't even know until just now that you had a brother. I just thought it was you and your mom.
Oh, well, no. I have still, my brother died from alcoholism. I think also I've told you I'm an alcoholic, right?
No, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, okay. 9 years sober.
I knew you liked it, the candy, but I didn't know that you was also on the bottle. How you like the way I put that?
What do you mean candy?
You know the candy.
No, I'm not sure.
Like the weed and stuff like that, the spice of life.
Okay, I've never heard it referred to as candy.
That's what they call it around here, the Candy Man.
Okay. No, I've heard Candy Man as a reference to drug dealers.
Yes.
That's very, very old.
Yeah, okay. So the Candy Man, he had a candy.
Yeah. But that was, usually in terms of hard drugs.
Oh. Well, I don't know.
Heroin and such.
Oh, okay.
That was, it was not usually a reference to somebody who was a pot dealer.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. The only reason why I know is because somebody that was using is the one who told me, who said it to me. Okay. I don't know.
Well,
but thank you for setting me straight.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why I was confused when you said that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Candy? Medicine, yes. Candy, no.
Okay. All right then.
But in any case, in terms of tarantulas, though, I've only encountered one time up at my brother's house, mm-hmm. and there's really nothing much to say. It was a tarantula, so what? It was since it was in the house, I tossed my hat on top of it, and then got like a piece of cardboard to go underneath it and lift it up. So then I put it in a jar to give to my brother because he's big on bugs. And I was surprised actually he never wanted to study, officially entomology because he loved dealing with bugs and snakes and everything else from the time he was a little kid. Mm-hmm. But anyway, aside from my brother, I also have an older sister, and me. The three of us were from my mother's first marriage. Then I have a younger sister, technically half sister, from my mom's second marriage.
See, I thought you were only child.
No. Both sisters live in Albuquerque. I think you know them about an hour east, right? Mm-hmm.
But I thought, why didn't you spend Independence Day with them?
Like I said, none of us are really big on the holiday.
Wow, that's just crazy to me.
Well, again, various reasons.
Yeah.
All sort of similar. Not big on the noise. Not big on the hypocrisy, as it were.
Right. And the crowds.
We are all our mother's children in that way.
That's amazing.
No, we're very, very proud of our legacy, as it were.
That's amazing. I'm glad to know you. I'm glad to know you. Let me tell you.
Well, I've been glad to know you too, but you know that.
Yes. I'm glad that you called in. I tell you, it's very helpful for me because.
I didn't call you. You called me.
Yeah, but you didn't have to return my call.
Oh, well.
You could have just blew me off and been like, whatever, yo. I have a life. I'm just checking in with everybody, and I wanted to do a live because, a lot of people didn't make it through this weekend, this holiday for various reasons, So much is happening in the world today.
Well, I imagine that it had its fair share of holiday accidents and such, right?
Yes, and murders. That's what I've seen. A lot of murders.
I did not catch any news tonight. I had to run into Albuquerque to rescue a friend of mine who had gotten stuck in town after having an accident, and he needed to get rescued.
Yeah.
His vehicle got crushed on somewhat by a rig, and thankfully only his vehicle was hurt, considering it was his fault.
Yeah.
And all, but
that was lucky.
Also,
that was lucky.
Yeah, and indeed, and also because guess what? He was drinking. And not so much knowing him, not so much as you'd really notice it if you didn't catch it on his breath. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, that it affected his driving.
Right.
And, enough that he knows he was at fault, and there was no question about it. Mm-hmm. And he's lucky he didn't get popped. Mm-hmm. But he did get injured, and he had to go to the hospital. And anyway, so I had to run into town last minute about, what was that, 3:30, I think it was, I had to leave, you know? So I did not catch one bit of news tonight. Very unusual for me to, you know, not catch any news. But
I got like the notifications from, you know, the police blotter and stuff like that. And it was just, I turned my phone off because there was just so much happening. And then when I looked at, you know, other places, so many people got killed and stuff. So that's why I decided to, you know, do my live and see, you know, I guess everybody's okay, you know, made it through.
Well, and you know that's the other thing too. I tend, I tend to avoid traveling on certain holidays.
Me too. Stay off the road.
4th of July is a big one. New Year's, Thanksgiving. Sometimes I will, actually. And usually, and we've missed 2 years in a row of this, usually we gather together for Passover. My younger, first of all, my mother's second husband was Jewish. And so I grew up, even though I was never adopted, I grew up with the name Goldstein. So all through my
now don't give too much information now, Daniel. This is on my live.
I don't care.
I care.
Well, I mean, this is not like any kind of a secret.
It's still a secret. You have no idea the people that follow me. Not all of them are, you know, they know their elevator doesn't go to the top. The light is on, but ain't nobody home for a lot of people. They, you know, they good people, but they, you know, don't tempt them. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They're human at the end of the day, and they are real human beings. So don't, you know, try to keep them honest. Don't tempt them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what I'd be tempting anybody to do.
I'm just saying, you know, don't tell too much. Now we're just talking about the, you know, the Independence Day and everything like that. We just gonna keep it like, you know, don't give them too much information now.
Okay. Like I said, it's not like any kind of big secret.
I know, but it's not just me and you on here. That's what I'm saying.
Well, that's okay. Maybe we'll enlighten some people.
Well, you can enlighten them, but you don't have to tell them everything, Daniel. That's what I'm saying.
Well, in any case, though, the reason I wanted to tell you this was to let you know that my younger sister spent a lot of years in Israel.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah. And,
you know, so, I mean, this is directly in relation to why I was bringing this.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, like I said, I grew up Jewish as well. And,
well, shalom.
Peace to you as well.
Well, shalom. And when I come down to visit you, I expect some decent latkes, okay?
I actually can do some decent latkes, yeah.
Okay. I like latkes.
It's not something I've done very often, but yeah.
Okay, now.
Had a few years, actually.
All right, now.
But you know, in a pinch, you can actually use the potato flakes.
Yes.
You know, it works not quite as good as fresh, but it works okay. They're good.
I don't know now, Daniel. Come on now.
So usually we gather together for Passover, and we went 2 years now where we had to miss that.
Oh yeah.
And you know, we have not gathered together. I've only seen my older sister. I think I saw her 3 times, maybe 4 in the last year and a half.
Oh, okay.
And my younger sister, I've only seen once. Now we stay in touch. We talk every week. You know, sometimes 2 times a week. You know, once in a while we might go a week or so without talking, but. We all, you know, we stay in touch. We're very close.
That's good.
We all love each other very much.
That's good.
And their kids are mostly also in Albuquerque, with the exception of My oldest sister's ex-husband, was from Ecuador, and her son moved down to Ecuador many years ago.
Yeah, that's a place I like to see. Ecuador.
I would love to go down and visit. I many times felt like I'd love to live there, especially the environment in general, regardless of the place.
Well, let's make a plan. Maybe we'll look into that. Going to Ecuador. I really want to go.
Really?
Really?
That's an interesting thought.
Really? I really want to go. I have to schedule it.
Well, never mind scheduling. I'm not in a position to be able to go anywhere for more than a half a day.
Oh.
Because, well, I've got a cat.
Yes. Well, I have kitten. That's why you rent a grandma. You go to rentagrandma.com and grandma will watch them for you.
I don't have anybody that I can truly trust to take care of him at this point in time.
Okay.
There used to be somebody, but that was the guy I told you about who stabbed me in the back.
Yeah.
And so, he's gone, thank God. I up until quite recently, I also had 2 dogs. I think you know about them.
Right.
But even so, I've still got the cat. And also, there's a few other reasons that I don't want to go into.
Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Thank you for that, because I told you not.
So, I'm not in a position for
any
full future. Now that could change, maybe in a few months or a year or so, whatever. But for the immediate foreseeable future, it'd be very difficult for me to, do much of anything even overnight.
But so, your sister is in Ecuador.
No. My older sister's son, she had 2 children, twins, and the girl, the boy and a girl. The girl's in Albuquerque, not with her, but she's married and living with her husband. But her brother is down in Ecuador.
That is amazing.
So, anyway, my brother was also married and divorced on a few occasions. His first wife was from Japan. So, and he also had 2 kids, my niece and nephew, first niece and nephew, really. And I mentioned he's up in that next mountain to the north, where my brother and my father had been living for a lot of years.
Right.
And he's got, a wife and kids of his own. But he's half Japanese. My brother's second wife was a marriage of convenience. She was from Germany. And they were fond of each other, but they were, he married her to help her, get the green card. He would have been happy to not marry her at all.
Right. Hold on, Daniel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get off my live because my folks on my live ain't saying nothing. So I'm going to go on and get off of there, and then me and you can continue to talk.
Okay.
So, deuces. So I'm going to end my live stream.